Minister resigns or was fired from her position by Governor Justin Trudeau. Her behavior was totally toxic and not at all conducive to making deals, which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed. We got a triple exclamation point. Judge, one of the things about Trudeau is he's reading the tea leaves. Governments all around the world are starting to fall based on the fact that they went way overboard on immigration, on their social policies, socialist type policies, and the Green New Deal that went all around the world.
That's right. I mean, you see it in Italy already. They've got a very right-wing, is she a president?
Meloni.
Prime Minister.
Giorgia Meloni. And then the German chancellor loses the confidence votes. Australia, South Korea, Canada.
France.
Everything, France, everything. It's like the whole world is saying, you know what? There was a cloud over us and we were really stupid and we bought into the craziness. And, you know, I think that Trudeau, and what he did with Canada, I think two of the worst were Trudeau, Canada, and Australia, especially with COVID. Remember the guy who was in the elevator and sneezed, and they had like an arrest warrant out for this guy for months because he sneezed in an elevator, and no one was in the elevator. But, you know, what Trudeau did and what a lot of these governments did, you know, with the truckers, he froze their bank accounts, he canceled the orders, he shut down GoFundMe when they arrested them and stopped them. And I got to tell you, this guy he looks like a wimp to me. He always did. He doesn't strike me. He really doesn't strike me as like a guy with charisma. Let's say Bill Clinton. Let's say John F. Kennedy. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Republican. But, you know, he calls himself a feminist. He says, I'm a feminist. And he said America had the missed opportunity to elect a woman president. And then he's over there having dinner with President-elect Trump because he realizes, you know, he's going down in Canada.
What do you think about Justin Trudeau's chances of survival here?
You know, I don't know. I follow Canadian politics just a bit, just the narratives we get and the stuff we get in our newspapers here. His finance minister who resigned, I know, she lived in New York and was the head of the Financial Times here, and I have great respect and admiration for her. But clearly, to you all's points, it wasn't just those nations. Even England over the last year, you've seen a back and forth with the governments there, I should say, with upheaval and how there's been subtleness in their PM role. I think the issue that has really, I think, rocked a lot of these Western nations and these leaders have not been able to get their arms around is the same one that rocked our election, which was immigration and border security. That issue has become an economic issue for so many, many voters. It's as resonant an issue here in America and obviously around the globe. This moment, though, I would argue just a little bit, is not totally unique. I think when you see movements that happen in America, if there's a shift towards a certain politics, normally the Western world follows and even some of our allies follow. It's not uncommon for that. So for President Trump to win, no one should be surprised that the world is saying there's a new sheriff in town and rules are going to be a little different from our tech leaders and business leaders to obviously leaders around the globe. I don't look at Trudeau the way that my pal to my right here looks at him, but I tell you this. He's got some organizing to do there, and he's got to assert himself. If not, some of these rumors, unfortunately, could come true.
Do you think President Trump meant to be the straw that broke the camel's back on Trudeau's government?
He might not want to get rid of Trudeau because you get a conservative in there, they could be tougher on trade. But my sources in Canada, Dan, they're saying...
This Johnny?
They're saying Trudeau's probably toast. And just for all the reasons you just mentioned, this leadership was already teetering and the trade threat basically put him over the edge. But this is a great opportunity, as you were saying in the break, to all of these countries now kind of struggling to stay afloat, and Trump can really drive a hard bargain on trade in the first year or two.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but there is a candidate, Poilievre, in Canada, who's phenomenal. I mean, his speeches are incredible. I think he's going to...
The other thing that's happened over the last several years is a virulent strain of anti-Semitism in Canada. And it's the country... We need a strong Canada. And we don't have one right now.
And I can't say we're free from anti-Semitism. As you look up to Uptown and see what's happening at Columbia, NYU, City College, it's sad. We're horrible in Ireland. Who thought that? What an embarrassment to be half Irish. Christina Freeland, I am. It's embarrassing.
It's not on you,
Christina Freeland, but it's embarrassing. She comes out and she says, I'm leaving because we're buried in debt right now, and you're giving people checks. And you're also, you're sending them checks and you're giving them a holiday from paying taxes. We have no revenue. You're trying to buy votes. And he's getting attacked from the left right now. His approval rating is at 28%. But he is a supple man. I've seen him do yoga, and he's a very supple man. And that's something that I got to give him credit for, because as you get older, it's harder to stay limber unless you have a stretch lab down the block.
Yeah, and his eyebrows
Are you a
good
fan
too.
of Stretch Lab?
I am. I've gone there before.
It's not really.
God.
It's too.
Oh, it's good.
It's not enough.
It's good.
Well,
It's good.
I mean, you can go 50 minutes if you want, but I only
I
have
know,
25.
but it's like if they're like this, they're like, oh, hey, you're stretching, and then they're like, that's actually not.
You got to
really
get a different guy.
stretching.
I mean, you got to get a guy
Can I
that's
ask the
really
women at the
committed.
table for a
Yes,
second?
about
If
the
a
eyelash.
man is limber and very flexible, is that a turn on?
Oh, Jesse, don't look
He
at
just
me.
made it seem.
I didn't answer that question.
You
You know
made
what?
it seem like that was hot.
I'm going to say yes.
Trudeau.
Yes, she likes a stretchy guy.
You said something. The judge said something about who could succeed. You watch Freeland. Don't count her out if there is a
really?
She'll come
Oh,
back.
it's a power.
to your
But she'll
point
stay
that
on the
you
left,
Okay,
right?
how much?
She'll still
Well,
be
no,
on the
I
left.
think-
How much,
I
Harold?
just think she's going to
You
continue
guys
to
are
be the
making
game.
bets
reasons
about
that-
Canadian
We're
politics.
not allowed to make that.
We like action.
Hey, lawyers, we're not gambling on set.
Yeah. Well, no, it's legal if there's none for the House.
Okay.
We'll have Sonny Hostin read a disclaimer into the podcast. But I would say this, the last thing I would say about this, they have bulked up the border. They responded to Trump right away, and they promised to put more money and assets on the border. So that's important.
That's because Trump's a leader.
All right, ahead, we'll tell you all about the Uber Eats roulette trend that is blowing up social media.
After all the bars are closed,